says clean with an alcohol wipe, but there's no alcohol wipe in the box. Do they just expect someone like me to have alcohol wipes? There's a little needle in there. It's verging on kind of scary. It's not completely my comfort zone, that. Okay, here we go. We're in. I need to start monitoring my blood sugar. I'm pretty sure that connects to an app. I'm gonna keep this on for the next week to see how my normal, like, domestic diet fluctuates with blood sugar. So I've just had a message from a friend saying that one of his friends has just shot a deer, which has come just in time. One has arrived 6 days before the wild biome started, but more importantly 6 days before the hunting season closed. So right on the line, this is going to be my last deer of the season, and I need to go and get it now. So let's go and pick up a deer. Whenever I get a deer, it's always really short notice, and I've kind of got to go and pick it up straight away. And I've got something on in 2 hours, and it's half an hour away. So quick rush to grab a deer, come back, hang it up in the garden, get to my thing tonight.
Claiming she is just the former one of me, and I am her just out of context. And the weight that I've been leaning, and the persons I'm deceiving, and the food that I've been eating says I'm processed. And I
know. Cheers, mate. You? All these little plants have come out. Beautiful little white flower. Absolutely everywhere growing along the sides of the road here. It's called stitchwort. I don't know if you can eat stitchwort. I don't think it's poisonous, but I just love plants. I love plants. What can I say? The heart. Feels like quite a big heart, that one. So gorgeous. It's a heart. It's a heart, Ernest. Unfortunately, this isn't for you. Wow. Wow. This will be my 4th deer that I've butchered, maybe, of what I hope is a lifelong journey with deer kin, and each time I'm learning so much about myself, so much about deer, reclaiming so much. Thank you, deer. It's not that hot today, so I can leave it strung up in the garden overnight. I got somewhere to be in 15 minutes or so. I'm going to come back and process this beautiful being tomorrow. How was this boy? Right, I need to go and put some other clothes on. I need to go put some clothes on. You're staying here. You're staying here. Can you go and lie down? Go lie down. Go lie down. Lie down. So there's a film premiere tonight, which is a film that I worked on for the last few years called The Big C. I've just been a cinematographer on it, but it's been made by Lewis Arnold, Chris Nelson and Demi Taylor, and it's about how the manufacturing of neoprene, which is the material that makes wetsuits, how the manufacture of neoprene is linked to some of the highest cancer rates of any places all around the world, as in where the neoprene factories are really directly linked to the locals in those areas having cancer.
Our government had licensed them to dump poisons into our environment. One of them that was the most controversial, and what all of this is about, was a chemical called chloroprene. They used that in order to make their product, which is neoprene. So from the day she was born, she's been exposed to that chemical. And that's the reason for her autoimmune disease. It was caused by her lifetime exposure to chloroprene. And this plant was unrelenting.
So that session was one of the scariest moments of my life. There's been a few moments in my life that I've considered like proper initiations, be it emotional, spiritual, physical. This was like one of the realest physical initiations I've ever experienced. This here is a water housing. I'd take a camera like this one and I'd put it into that. That's the lens port. That screws on the front like that. And then that allows me to film in the sea. And Lewis, the guy who made the film I watched last night, he was in the ocean with me that day. You know, it was such an honor. I was taken under the wing of a group of surfers to go and experience that. Like what in reality was a session of a lifetime. It was a historical moment. But I'm about to go for a surf with Lewis now. So maybe it'd be worth picking his brain about what that session was like. So this is one of those Ulex rubber suits they were talking about last night in the film. So this isn't made of chloroprene rubber. It's made from trees, basically. I have acquired a tiny puppy. He's so sweet. Oh.
Silly boy.
No. Lovely day. Bye. Yeah, I haven't seen it this good for a while. From the very beginning, got to find him. Got him, I found him. He went down the other end of the beach. He's just over there. Yeah, pretty good. How are you? Did you down there? Nice, nice. Sick. A lot of paddling, isn't it?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what's made you think of that day so much?
I think just because I keep reflecting back on it as such a pivotal moment in my life, I guess. Maybe it's felt like a bigger deal since my dad died for some reason. I've been learning a lot over the last couple of years around like rites of passage and like initiation for young people. For me, that was like a moment of a group of men who are older than me, who were part of my like surf community, who I kind of like trusted, took me under their wing into an environment that was like actually really wild.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. If you go back in history, like before surfing, if anyone else was in that position, the only person that could have been in that position would be like a fisherman or a seafarer who like was in trouble because they weren't on their boat.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it was quite ambitious, really, what we're after. Like you photographing me, photographing the wave, and it hasn't been like that before or since, to my knowledge.
In terms of like the size and stuff.
Yeah, and the sort of quality of it. Like for me, that day is like the pinnacle of my surfing life.
Yeah.
And with my age, realistically, I'm not going to be getting that again. For me, it's kind of a case of like job done.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
It's an initiation for me, but in a different way.
Yeah.
It's like sort of, that's not end of the road because I still like surf a lot, I still photograph a lot. But I mean, how long ago is it? It's a few years ago.
5 years, I think.
Yeah, like, so I'd probably be pushing it to try and do that again. at my age.
I was just like, I can't believe I'm just like floating around in, you know, quadruple overhead swell in the North Sea basically by myself right now.
Yeah.
It felt a bit like being on the moon.
Yeah, like we didn't really know how it was going to pan out and that it was going to be something that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. I mean, it was a bit of a gamble. I mean, you know, in the film there's a lot of nice surfing footage, but there's nothing like as unique as that. Like that is the best surfed, biggest wave that's ever been in the whole North Sea. I know the North Sea is not like the sort of, you know, it's not the epicenter of surfing or the heartlands of surfing or anything like that, but, you know, for me it means a lot. I mean, at the time we didn't know what was going to happen with your dad. I mean, I'm a father myself, so I do, you know, like, so there is a sort of fatherly aspect to it for me with your dad passing. And my kids are now sort of similar age to what you were then. Maybe that's come to the fore a bit more, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that, but it's just been like a really, you know, in a lifetime of surfing and in a lifetime of photography, that is like my most valuable experience really that day.
Yeah, that's what, mate. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it for me.
Thank you for nailing it on that day. And thanks for staying out there when I couldn't get out for 45 minutes. It's good to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know, it's another angle that I didn't realise it was so like, you know, you were thinking about it so much.
Yeah. It feels so good to take a moment to reflect back on that day of my life. Okay, so now it's time for deer, but it's got very wet. It's going to be too wet for this camera. But luckily, I bought a new camera this week. Pretty funny, isn't it? So one of the mistakes I make all the time is I cut the tendon here, which is where it's hanging up from. I need to not do that this time. Do not cut through that tendon, otherwise the whole thing drops, and I've done that with my last 2 deers. Turn a lot of this into like dried meat. I'm going to put a lot of it in the dehydrator because I've already got one whole deer in the freezer, and I don't need all of it to be fresh meat because I want some of it to be like kind of snacks, stuff I can take with me out for the day, stuff that's like stuff that's preserved, you know what I mean? Oh fuck, that is heavy. So well, it's a whole deer, isn't it? Oh my god. You know, this deer really symbolises the energy that I kind of want to take into this month of wild food. And I've been trying to get my hands on another deer before I started for a while now. I've been putting out the feelers to try and get a deer, and I started to make peace with the fact that a deer wasn't coming, and one has. This deer will be the thing that really sustains me through this month. I think I'm going to learn so much this month about myself, about my body. It's going to take me that next level deeper into the land, and I don't think I'm going to emerge out of it the same human. And the energy that I want to take into this is like just this trust that the land's got me, you know, that there is abundance. It's brought me into that place of faith almost, and I've often struggled with that idea of like trusting the flow of things. I have a tendency to be quite a controlling person and try and over-plan everything all the time and try and make sure that I'm always going to be fine. I kind of pride myself on being like many steps ahead, but it doesn't. That doesn't lend itself to being a particularly present human a lot of the time, and I can be in states of anxiety and fear for quite a while. If I'm honest, I'm pretty bored of living in that fear space. I want to live in a trusting space. That's the spirit I want to go into the wild biome with. It's just trust. You know, my body is going to communicate what it needs, that the earth is going to provide for me, as it has today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've made both a long form video on how I've on hunting and deer butchery, and on making pemmican. So I'm not going to go into too much detail of it here. If you want to check out those things, then you can look at some of the other videos on my channel. I apologize if this video was quite graphic and a bit intense for some of you. This is what my channel is going to be about. This is what my life is about, and it's what I'd like to share. And I would love to empower people to reclaim a more sovereign relationship with their food, regardless of what you're eating, whether it's meat or plants or anything, whether it's foraging, whether it's growing, whether it's fishing or hunting or whatever. Like, there are some consistencies in human culture that have been there throughout all of human culture that I think we're starting to lose in the modern world. One of which is having a close relationship with food, touching food, hunting food, growing food, foraging food. Food being something that isn't solely bought at a supermarket. Now, I don't have any judgment of going to the supermarket. I go to the supermarket every week. I'm a normal person in England. But I also want to compensate that diet and those foods with a much more visceral and real relationship with what I'm putting in my body. I'm really enjoying making these more like raw, almost vlog style videos. I thrive with creative boundaries, and when I'm too open-ended with what I could make, I make nothing. Don't think about it too hard, just go and make a video. Just go and do your thing. I'm someone who loves capturing things and filming what I'm up to. But for a while I wouldn't give myself permission to do that because I was scared of the judgment or whatever. And for something's changed over the last few weeks. I'm just like, I don't know that I care anymore. You saw in yesterday's video me just like walking through central London vlogging. Like, I never thought that would be me. I really, really never thought that would be me. But here we are. Well, if you made it to this point in the video, blessings to you. I'll catch you in the next one. Who knows what the next one's going to be about.